All right, so this is the start of pretty much the hype point for me. We have had Zora and Vanessa teased. This is good. Okay, we're going to probably be getting them if we're looking at this, right? Usually these banners come out on Thursdays, so I'm going to say the 9th. Now, I won't really be able to cover much of it. I don't know if I'll release a summon video. I might stream it. Probably going to stream release builds and then Zora showcase is going to be how I go about it, because I have solo leveling content to do since it releases the 8th. But I will do as much content as I can for these two. I'm particularly excited for Zora. Zora's my GOAT, man. Oh my god. I downplayed him so hard when he came out. This is the Black Asta situation 2.0 for me. Okay, Zora is a solid S tier unit. At least it wasn't as bad as the Black Asta situation. You know, I was horribly wrong about Black Asta also because I didn't use him on mono red. I mean, I knew he was a good defensive unit, but I mean, I didn't really consider him just being outright meta at all. So, very sad for that. But Zora's an all-around great unit. So, we're going to talk about their kits today, okay? And we'll talk a bit about if you should summon. But I'll make a proper one probably a bit later. I'm going to say that probably a bit later just to see if we get more info. Also, in 4 days, we get Valkyrie Noelle info. So I'd say that Valkyrie Noelle is going to greatly influence if you summon on them or not. Depends on what she does, right? So maybe Zora is going to be absolutely cooked, right? So for example, that's what I mean. Also, Vanessa might be cooked by Valkyrie Noelle too. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to see. But these are two like very good units to put together. They're two hype units in my opinion. A lot of people love Vanessa, and I don't know, something about Rouge being there is very enticing. And then for Zora, it's Zora, so like people absolutely adore Zora. I think he's like, I don't know about top 5 most anticipated units, but like most top 5 anticipated characters maybe, because like I'm not talking about transformations. Taking out transformations for like licked Asta Noelle, right? And I guess like a new Yami unit. I just mean top 5 units that aren't in the game yet. I think Zora's in that top 5 probably. Give me your top 5 down below. What units are you hoping to get besides Zora for new units that don't have any single unit in this game? Now, we'll start with Zora, okay? Zora, I think, on launch is going to allow William to go crazy, okay? Now, one thing I do want to say is that Vanessa probably for a lot of people is not worth summoning because you're just not really going to use her much on mono green. If you're planning to go mono green, then you're planning to get Spirit Dive. And if you're planning to go for Spirit Dive, you're planning to get Mimosa. Okay, that's something I want to make extremely clear to all of you guys. So just realize that. Now, starting off, 3 minutes in, and we're only starting to talk about their kit info. Wow. Zora's whole thing is giving buffs to him and other people that are reflective trap buffs. Now, he is a debuffer, and he does kind of encapsulate that with what we're talking about, but it's a buff that buffs you guys and debuffs the enemies. So he's at 112 speed, which makes him very strong. On mono blue, he goes up to 127 speed, making him the quickest unit in the game, so keep that in mind. Now, on the skill 1, it gives the reflective trap to the person with the highest all attack, so basically the DPS for 2 turns. And what does reflective trap give? 20% damage reduction, SP -1 to the person who hit the target, and it reflects damage equal to 150%. So if you take 30,000 damage, you're reflecting with 45,000, which is insane, right? And if it's an AoE, which we're going to talk about more in the skill 2, then that's when it gets crazy. That's when it gets crazy. Now, this reflective trap is pretty good. Okay, 20% built-in damage reduction when you have the buff, and then if you get hit, it applies SP -1 on the target. And why this could be crazy is, let's say you have the AoE reflective trap, Mario AoEs you, that's SP -4. Okay, so that makes it very good. And then obviously the damage. You're going to see like Mono Blue, how they survive and how they do well is basically everyone being able to do damage on the team, or a majority, right? For example, Zora, Nozel, and William all do damage. So like you could put these 3 together, have the 4th unit be luck, and then like you're kind of chilling. Like for the most part, you should be chilling with that team. I want to try it out. It's just I need 2 DPS sets because Nozel for the most part does want to be a DPS, but if you run him as a defensive unit, it should be fine too, I guess. Now, the skill 2 is when it gets crazy. 100% debuff immunity. is good. It's one turn, but it's good. Now it applies SP -1 on all enemies, which, you know, is nothing too crazy if they're at 7 SP, but if they're at 6 SP, it could be good. Or if they're at 8 SP going down to 7, if they're at 7 going down to 6, that's good because then it stops at ultimate. But this SP minus is also good because of the skill page, but let's talk about that after we say also puts magic attack reduction level 1. So 35% magic attack lower is definitely good. Now, the good thing is for sure that with the skill page, it applies reflective trap level 2. Now, all the level increases is the damage. So instead of being 150% reflection, it's 225. It does the same thing of reducing damage 20% at SP -1 when you're hit, but the reflection damage is what changes. And this reflective trap is going to be very good. Okay. Very good. 20% damage reduction plus you lower the magic attack. Okay. Now, is this enough on its own to really counter the well? Not the well. Sorry, Mario. Not all the time. Depending on your units and your units' tankiness and their units' offensive, it might also be good sometimes to run this the well in the future, right? In the future, because she has 35% reduced damage dealt or Ghost. But for the most part, turn 1 Mario, this is usually good enough to help you live. Okay, usually, not all the time, but it should help you in most instances to help you live. Okay, 35% magic lower plus 20% damage reduction plus, okay, the only unit that could really die from it maybe is Luck, because William ain't gonna die, Zora ain't gonna die, Ghost wouldn't die, Noel, anyone but Luck. Like, only the DPS really has a chance of dying to it when you count these things in. Now, the ult is also very good. It applies reflective trap level 3. All right, puts 300% of the original damage reflection. That's like the only difference. 20% damage reduction still, SP -1. It's just you're doing insane damage at this point, but it's single target. This is a single target buff. What's funny is that I thought this was an AoE buff when we translated it with Google Translate, but it wasn't. It wasn't. Now, the crazy part is it gives a level 5 defense increase. And this is what I was talking about in William's video, the showcase, is that there's two things that get profit from this in his kit. First of all, skill page. When you're at max, that's 120% HP heal. And what? You're increasing it by 245%. That heal is literally going to like max heal anyone, right? And then per 1,000 defense, you get an 8% damage delta increase. So you put that on him, on William, and then that skill 1's going to do crazy damage. And it also puts weapon disarm. So there's a lot of ways you could play this, but hey, I mean, how you might want to even consider it sometimes against Mario, depending on how tanky your units are, is you just put this on Luck, give him the 20% damage reduction, give him the defense increase, and maybe it's going to be better. But in this case, also puts magic attack and it's AoE. So it really does depend, right? There's different instances for turn 1 play on mono blue. Obviously, we're going to talk a bit about non-mono blue in a bit, but 127 speed on mono blue is definitely great. And then the combo removes immortality, so that's good. My thing with Zora is that it's just sometimes there's like too many ways you could play him, and I just don't really know. And also, like, you have to run him 4 speed, which does give him a bit less defenses, because you want him to be 4 speed to be able to go first. That's basically how it goes. Okay, now his dupes are actually, I think, some of the best in the game just on paper, but when in play they're good enough. Dupe 2 gives him 30% damage reduction when he gets Reflective Trap. Sorry, if it's active at the beginning of the turn. 30% damage reduction is definitely nothing to scoff at. And especially for Zora, like, he's going to need it in a lot of instances. So getting him to Dupe 2 might be what you want to get him at. Now, if you're running him on Mono Blue and you're trying to run Mono Blue, like, if you're trying to get like all these Nozella and Noel, if you're trying to really build that and you want to have fun with it and you see me play it and you liked it, then maybe going for max dupe, which gives buff block to the DPS basically if it's mono blue. So if you're on a mono blue team, you apply buff block to the enemy with the highest all attack at the start of battle, and buff block for 1 turn is insane. They can't have damage reduction applied, nothing like that for 1 whole turn. And especially against Mario teams, this buff block could definitely be the difference between winning and losing. So getting him max dupe is going to be very exciting. I can't wait for sure. And then obviously the 15 speed is very good. I just wish they would do stuff where, you know, they get a buff with mono blue, a buff without mono blue, but, you know, whatever. It is what it is. This is going to be just such a good skill to use, right? I love it. Like, the fact that it's an AoE reflective trap buff for 1 turn, you're going to see the uses come into play for sure. Okay, for sure. Now his skill page. Let's talk about his skill page after we close everything. Is Vanessa still there? Okay, yeah. So I think I closed it, didn't I? Anyway, what it does is when attacked by an enemy, there's a 40 to 100% chance to give everyone a 20 up to 50% defense increase for 2 turns on your team. Like, that's actually insane. Because you're going to be able to stack this with the defense level 5 buff, which is a 50% buff plus a 245% buff. And it gives a reflective trap. So if you max dupe this, like as a pay to win, this is actually going to help you stay alive a decent amount longer. Especially when you're just attacked. So like you're going to have it afterwards for 2 turns. Like, this is a nice defense increase. Like, if you live turn 1 with this max duped, Zora is going to be just such a defensive god for you, and still doing damage with the reflective traps. It's going to be really good. So, like, that concludes Zora's part. I'm very happy with it. Now, Vanessa, we're going to get through it kind of quick. I don't... Like, she's really good on mono green. That's it. You could also, like, use a team of her invincibility. That is not a word, but giving invincibility to Fuego and making him live for a minimum 3 turns. So, skill 1 gives SP. Okay. Love to see it. All right, not much more to say. This SP is actually insanely good. You've probably seen some showcases from me being like profiting from it greatly. Now the skill 2 gives Blessing of Protection guaranteed at level 5, which is going to be when you block damage, you restore HP by 8% of max HP, and you get total defense, which is guaranteed block basically. So if you have the skill page, you get the guaranteed heal every time you're attacked for the 1 turn you have total defense. But overall though, this total defense is also pretty nice just to take less damage, right? So definitely a good skill 2 with the skill page. The ult gives invulnerability and 100% chance to dispel 2 debuffs, which, you know, I feel like a lot of people do forget about, me included. The main reason I'm saying a lot of people is because I don't want to say just me. Because why would I out myself for being forgetful? But it's a cleanse. It's a cleanse. I mean, I love cleanses. Cleanses are great. We need more cleanses, so it's good. And then same as Zora, removes immortality. Base kit, actually pretty good. Immortality is nice. Invulnerability is nice. But what makes her good mainly is this stuff. So I think it's already in game. Let me just make sure. Is it? Yes. So let me just translate it real quick so that we can actually make sure for the dupe 2 that I'm not tripping. But they actually buffed it. I'm going to guess it's going to be on global 2. Let's put this in Google Translate. 1 sec. So if we go to Google Translate right now and we see, is that to all allies? Let's see. And give, okay, never mind. It's just, all right. So now the dupe 2, it gives 50% stamina to defender mages and 10% speed. So it's actually going to make them a lot quicker and going to make Mario just busted, okay? Because why that 10% speed is actually really good for people who already know her kit and like kind of understand the 50% mobility. So this is mobility, right? The stamina is mobility. But basically that 10% speed is going to make it so that if 2 people are both at the 100% mobility, then 10% speed means you're going to be quicker than anyone else. With that 10% speed, you're going to get that turn first if you're both at 100% mobility. So yeah, nice little buff. Then the dupe 5 gives 8 SP to all allies when she dies, which is another decent buff. Vanessa is actually going to be quite decent. I'm going to have fun using that like Vanessa, Mimosa, Mario team quite a lot, especially with everyone max dupe. That's going to be something. But Vanessa overall to me is just not really a must-need unit because Spirit Dive team is the one that really evolves for the mono green, like into what mono green becomes. And Vanessa is not really used on it. But if you want Vanessa, you want to use Mario, like for right now, go for it. Like nothing's stopping you. Now with the this, it's going to be giving 25 up to 45% that reduced damage taken if you have Blessing Protection on you, which is actually a lot of damage reduction. Holy, she gets tanky as shit with this. She uses that skill too, and then she is becoming super tanky. Okay, so yeah, a lot of people I feel like are okay excited, but no, people, I think Zora are kind of excited, but people know also what's coming, being Spirit Dive and Valkyrie. And Valkyrie, we're gonna get her stuff revealed very soon. And I mean very soon, right? On the 8th, we're getting official info. Oh man, I'm excited. And we can actually see it right now. Like it's such a long way to get to the JPE. But here it is. We could see it's scheduled for 6 a.m. I will be there. We will be there. Probably just going to record a video, no stream, because I have solo leveling. But we will be there, okay? Unless they reveal more info, I think. No, I might stream it. I don't know. I really don't know, but we'll see. For now, that's it for now. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys going to summon for Vanessa, Zora, who, and what? I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.